Hey you, what up? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are testing new makeup on the channel. It's a new day, it's a new dawn, it's also a new month. It's May, and I've got a lot of new makeup to test out. So as always, I'm gonna be slapping everything onto my face to create a look, no particular look. I have nothing in mind. I'm just going into this, letting the makeup speak to me, letting it do its thing. And I'm gonna listen and I'm gonna follow along. So we've got a new product in almost every single category. So this is gonna be hopefully very exciting for you guys. So let's get right into it. Subscribe if you aren't already, notification bell, you know the drill. Let's hit it. Testing new makeup for the month of May. Here we come. All right, so even though I have a lot of new makeup to test out this month, I am going to reach for an oldie but a goodie primer. This one from One Size. It is called Secure the Blur Makeup Magnet Primer. I've loved this one for a long time, but I somehow forgot about it recently until I saw another content creator on IG, Any Given Sunday, was talking about how she was wearing this primer and literally was getting compliments at the airport on her foundation and on her skin. So she knew it was a primer, and that told me that I need to reach back for it. I need to find it in my stash, and I did just that. I always liked this primer, but I never actually wore it out. I always used it on camera and maybe on like wear test days, but never outside of the filming room. So it was always tucked away in one of my filming room drawers. Never made it to my permanent collection for some reason, but I've always enjoyed this primer. So here we go. It is on the face. It is secured. Skin does look a little bit blurred. This one's not too tacky. It actually feels like skincare. Next, I am excited to present a new foundation to the channel. It is the new Skintuition by Jane Iredale. So this is a mineral SPF 30 foundation. Beautiful formula. This just came out like a couple of weeks ago, I believe. I did just go to their event and they shade matched me to shade 38 light medium. But I will say that when I do the shade matching on their website, I'm actually matched to shade 48, which is like a medium with a slightly more golden olive undertone. So I do want to try that one out. But this one I have been trying. It does have my name on it. So I already know that it's good. So this is not like a first impression. This is more like a tried and true, but first time on the channel type of feature, if you will. All right. So I just squeezed an equal amount on the different sides of my face. I'm going to use this IT Cosmetics X Ulta brush. Basically, I'm just going to apply this all over my face. This one has a nice golden undertone, but it is quite warm. So I'm curious to see what that shade 48 would look on me, since it's a little bit more olive or a little bit more green. This one works very well though. Right now, my skin is not terrible, not great. I can't say that it's going through a bad moment. I do have a few of these tiny little pesky breakouts, just these little smaller pimples all over my jaw on both sides and a little bit on my cheeks here too. So needless to say, it's frustrating, but it's not a deal breaker. It's not like my high school days where I would literally tell my mom I'm not going to school because of a breakout. Nowadays, I can deal with it a lot easier. I just think because the products that we have available to us nowadays are so much better at making us feel confident in our skin, right? Anyway, so I just crudely kind of spread that around and you can see how well that balances out my skin tone. Just 3 little dots, basically one pump, and look at that. Practically flawless. Well, this side of the face was close to flawless outside of just a couple of dark spots, but here I have just a few breakouts and they no longer look exaggerated. They kind of look cleaner, you know? So I do really like this one. I've been enjoying it. The formula is beautiful. It's so easy to apply. It feels very weightless. It has a really great lasting power, especially when paired with the right primer. I like the dewy but natural finish. It looks very skin-like, and the fact that it has mineral SPF 30 is just a blessing for me. So this is one of those awesome foundations to go into the summertime. It offers that UV protection. I would still wear your SPF underneath, but it offers that little bit of extra. And if you want to use a little sponge to kind of fix it and make it look more flawless, you can do that. But because we're going quickly, we're just trying new makeup, I really just want to show you what a quick little application would look like. And this is it. And I think this is great. Next up, I'm going to reach for an oldie but a goodie, the iconic NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer. Literally just got this in the mail today. They have been supplying me with these concealers for years. Thank you, NARS. They sent me a bunch of new shades, my shades, of course, and also the Soft Matte Complete Concealer, which is the one in the pot, this one. So I have a bunch of new shades of this one. I really like both of them, but the NARS, or Radiant Creamy, has been on rotation for so many years. It is very well loved by me. Usually I go for shade Custard for my under eye, shade Ginger for the rest of my face. Today I want to try a different shade. I want to try shade Toffee, which is a medium 1.2. It has a pinky undertone, so I definitely want to try this in my under eye. I like the fact that this one is very pigmented, right? Very, very pigmented, but it isn't solid like the Estee Lauder concealer, the one that I tried a couple of videos back. That one is just a little bit too solid for my liking. It just dries down a little bit too makeup-y looking, so you have to have a super, super full coverage foundation to match it. But this one you can sheer out, you can build it up. It still looks very natural, so I like it. And then for the other eye, I want to go for my Custard, the one that I always use. And then for my spots, I want to use the pot just to show you the difference. But I added Custard around the nose just to brighten a bit. This is a phenomenal formula. It's been phenomenal for years. I'm using this Cali Ray concealer brush, which is actually meant for their color correctors that I also love, by the way. Some of the best color correctors on the market right now. I just wanted to show you how flawless that looks. Like, the coverage on this is serious. Now let's try this new shade, shade Toffee. I don't actually think it's a new shade. It's just a new shade for me, but I wanted to try this pinky undertone, specifically in the under eye. I don't know if you have this also, but for some reason one of my under eyes is more hollow than the other, so it casts a deeper shadow. This one's the deeper one, and I'm trying to work on it. I'm using that Volufiline. Volufiline. I'm using that Volufiline from TikTok practically daily, but I'm not really seeing any difference. Anyways, so this is the Toffee versus the Custard. Flawless, just absolutely flawless. This is a no-brainer type of concealer. Like, if you haven't gotten your hands on this one, get your hands on it. It is just perfect. All right, so now for the rest of my face, to cover up some of these larger spots, I'm thinking I want to go with one of these guys. I have shade Café con Leche, I have Custard, I have Macadamia. I'm thinking let's go with either Macadamia or perhaps Ginger. I'm gonna use this Mario brush, literally just paint and then dab. And then just a little right here and just dab. This is the type of concealer that you could probably put on top of your serum, let it sit, not worry about blending it out, and then apply all of your foundation. It will cover everything and it will stay put. It is a crazy, crazy solid formula, but feels very creamy when you first apply it. It's also good for covering up little spots or like sharpening your lip line or whatever, like that. I should have probably went for Ginger because I am seeing the spots a little bit too bright in my monitor, but you know what? That's okay. And you can also use these to kind of like highlight the nose. If you like to draw that really, really fine line, this is the type of product to do that with. I mean, this is clearly not for someone with my nose anatomy, but if you are someone who likes that sort of teensy tiny little straight line highlighter, this is the type of concealer that you'd want to do that with. On me, it just looks a little bit too crazy because my nose is already very, very pointy, but just wanted to show you the possibilities. Anyways, not new products, just a refresher, if you will. Next, contours and bronzers. So we have some new contour wands from Miss Charlotte, darling. Charlotte Tilbury. I just went to her event here in New York with my sister, and we picked up a bunch of the new contour wands. These are called the Hollywood Easy Contour wands. I believe they come in 5 different shades, from fair all the way to deep. There's a medium, there's a tan, and I am using shade medium because, you know, I don't really like to contour too crazy. Of course, it has that applicator that we're all familiar with, that some of us like and some of us do not like. I am just gonna add a couple of pointillism dots all over my forehead. Just a little here, a little bit here, pinch around the nose, just for fun, a little bit on the chin. Boom, boom. A little quick chisel, if you will. What's cool is that there's now this brush, and I actually am a big fan of Charlotte's brushes. This one is called the Shapewear brush. So this is from the Super Nudes collection. And I don't know, it looks a little too small to be chiseling my giant ass face with it, but I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna start with the nose and the smaller areas. I'm just gonna, you know, do one of those. Oh, I think this is quite perfect for the nose, actually. I think this is a nice little detailing brush. I'm not sure if you can use that on the entire face. That would be just way too ambitious. Also, on the other side, there's a fluffy side for blending. This is my first time using the brush. And yeah, it's just a little bit too small for the larger areas, clearly, but you get the idea. So I guess for the rest of the face, I'm just gonna use a sponge. This is from Kosas. I will say I do like this formula. It is very, very, very easy to use. It doesn't seem to stain the skin whatsoever. So that's nice because these pointillism dots are not gonna blend themselves. And I was very, very sparing with it. But yeah, maybe I didn't apply enough product because now I kind of wanna go in a little bit heavier. There we go. And because my forehead is on the wider side, it's also tall. It's tall and wide. I don't mind applying more contour to my forehead than the rest of my face. That I'm not afraid of. Because what's the worst that can happen? You'll have a tan looking forehead. So I like to come in kind of as close as the arch of my brows, like right here, not too much further in. And I definitely like to blend the contour into my hairline. I think that looks quite nice, I will say. All right, I gotta do the other cheek real quick before it really stains. But this is a solid product. So this is a video that I am pre-filming. And what's happening in my life right now is that tomorrow is my little sister's prom. The following week is my little brother's prom. They go to 2 separate high schools. But I am so excited. I'm gonna be doing my sister's makeup for her prom. I'm definitely gonna be taking pictures. So definitely check out my IG. I'm sure I would have posted something there by now. She also got a whole bunch of these wands. So we're definitely gonna be sculpting, contouring, baking. We're gonna be doing the whole thing, the full glam. I am so thrilled. Fun fact, I did not go to prom. So for me, kind of like getting myself ready for prom, but it's even better because of my little sister. So good. All right, so now I'm gonna go back to my foundation brush and I'm just gonna tap that over all of that contour that I just did, just to keep it look natural, you know? All right, let's go. Next, new blushes from SAIE. Same formula, but new summer shades, and these are so stunning. I have tried these two so far. Shade Lady, which is like a nice nudie, rosy, neutral type of shade, and also shade Flirty, which is more watermelony. We also have a shade where the sticker came off, so I have no idea what the name of it is, but basically the third new shade for the summer. I really like these because the formula on this is very, very dewy and glassy. It doesn't dry down matte. It actually kind of keeps that sheen. I like it. I think it's quite beautiful. And I don't mind applying a little bit more because it just blends out so nice. I'm gonna use the Rare Beauty blush brush. This formula is nowhere near like the Rare Beauty blush. Their blush is just so pigmented. It is far too much product in that tube, frankly. But this is just perfect. So I'm gonna come up kind of high on the eye. And I'm gonna come in a little bit closer, like almost to the center of my iris, just so I can have this nice little youthful flush. All right, same thing on this side. I have no idea the shade name, but it is stunning. Basically, it's not Lady and it's not Flirty, it's the other one. But you see that glassiness, right? You see what I'm talking about? All right, also gonna dab some onto my nose. My sister loves doing this with blush. That is like such a Gen Z little makeup tip, but millennials as well. I feel like the nose blush has really become a thing. And just blush placement in general, it's really had its moment this year, or even for the last couple of years. So anyway, this is the blush, the contour. You see it, you like it. All right, we on the same page? Next, I'm gonna set my under eye and all the movable parts with just my Laura Mercier. Not just my Laura Mercier, with my Laura Mercier that I like, and I've liked it for a long time. It's a trusty little powder, big powder. This is a jumbo size that I've had forever. I'm just gonna go ahead and quickly set all that. Basically just getting rid of any shine, setting any of those areas that would typically crease on me. This area tends to break up on me. For some reason, right above the brows is very annoying. Around the nose, smile lines. And the next thing that I'm gonna do is something that I wanted to do, something that I mentioned in my previous video, my review of the MAC Studio Fix new reformulated powder foundation. I am gonna do what I said I was gonna do in this video. I am gonna set my foundation with this just to see how it looks, how it feels, whether it feels as lightweight as it does on its own. So I have two shades here that I'm gonna be using, C4 and also NC30. Both of these work for me. I'm gonna use a Mario brush and shade C4 on the center of my face, center of the forehead, kind of like that. And then all the way across the forehead, jawline, perimeter of the face, What do we think? I don't know if you guys can tell. I don't know if you see a difference, but it definitely has a blurred matte effect to me. Obviously, I didn't apply it to the top of my cheekbone where I have the dewy blush. I still want that to be wet to the touch and just as glassy as possible because I really like that formula and I don't want to compromise it. But the rest of the face, you can tell it looks rather smooth, rather smooth. So unfortunately, because this is talc free, it just doesn't seem to last on my skin longer than 30 minutes. It starts to kind of break apart. My oil starts seeping through. I showed you guys the wear test in my previous video. Once they take the talc out, I know that a lot of people don't like talc, but for someone as oily as I am, talc is a necessity. Or maybe it's not a necessity. Maybe I need something like an Upsilite. Just saying. Oh, I got one more product to show you in the face category or face base category. It is this Buttermelt Highlghter from NYX, which is impossible to open. Literally, I cannot open it without breaking my nails. Like, ouch, that hurts. And you kind of have to use your nails for this. This is very annoying. No, I'm gonna break. Look! Literally, my nail came off. That's so frustrating. Anyway, one broken nail later, we've got the highlighter open. This one is shade Bright and Butter. I'm gonna use this old school Wayne Goss brush. I'm gonna apply that right on top of that dew, starting from the brow. I don't know if that did anything. Do you guys see anything? I guess I'm so used to NYX being a 2016 brand that I'm expecting a 2016 type highlighter pop. But this is very subtle, but pretty and glassy. I'm gonna add a little bit on the nose. Okay, I like it. I see it. I like it. A little bit right there. Bit of a glow. Oh, what's that? Maybe a little unblended. No big deal. All right, there we go. And now I want to do my brows. I actually did not do my brows off camera today because I wanted to show you one of my oldie but goodie products from PIXI. This is their natural brow duo in shade black, soft black actually. One of my favorite products from them. Super easy to use. Angled pencil, not waxy, just very soft, easy to blend, easy to draw brow strokes, easy to fill in your brows, easy to add fine hair strokes if you need to. I'm not going to do anything crazy. I just want to groom the arch here, fill in a little bit right there, extend just a pinch. My favorite part about this brow gel brow product is actually the gel, and it's so cool because it comes with this tiny little spoolie that you could literally use to groom the brows and also brush out the fill you just did. I will say that the brow gel here is pretty strong. It won't necessarily glue down your brows in the 2025, 2024 type of style because this product isn't from 2024 or 2025. It is a lot older than that, but it will keep your eyebrow hairs exactly where you place them. So obviously I'm using it because I just got it back in the mail, got a little refill, and so I thought I would give myself a little refresher course. There we go. Easy does it. So now that the brows are filled, I am so excited for this next product. Sadly, I ruined it with all the powder, but we have a new palette from Sigma, and it is called the Spectrum palette. There's also two brushes in here. Tapered blending brush and a medium sweeper. Cool. But the palette, guys, the palette is actually quite up my alley. All neutral shades, just 5 sparkling metallic shades on the bottom. The rest of these are all mattes, and there's a matte for every neutral you can think of. There's a cool matte, some maroony mattes, some nudes, obviously browns. This is a great looking everyday palette, and I'm gonna test it right here and right now. So I'm gonna grab this medium sweeper, and I am really liking this shade right here called Mohair. Oh! Look at my creasing lids. I didn't even set my lids with powder. How dare I? All right, hold on. Give me a sec. No biggie. All right, so back to shade Mohair. Actually gonna use the mirror that is in the palette. I'm gonna lightly chisel out my crease just like that. So this shade is quite nice. It's a olivey sort of gray, which isn't a shade that is typically featured in neutral palettes. But I think this is nice for those of you looking to create real shadow. I think it's quite a nice little option to have in a palette. Notice how I placed my crease a lot lower than my eye socket. I actually placed it close to my natural crease, just like that, just to give my eyes a little bit of definition. And that in itself just like makes them so much more awake looking. All right, so this first shade is quite nice. Feels very silky, easy to blend. I'm gonna add a bit more right here and also right here. So I guess what's cool about this type of palette is that whatever your undertone is, whether it's an olive or a cool or a warm, you can definitely find an eyeshadow for your everyday looks, which actually brings the question of, do we actually need such large eyeshadow palettes in this day and age? Makes me think that it would probably be beneficial to create quads or like even 5-pan palettes based on undertones, especially when it comes to neutral palettes, perhaps an olive undertone, perhaps a cool, a warm. I know we already have those, but does everybody have the need for this many shades? I don't know. But because I am so used to palettes, I'm not turned off by it. All right, I'm gonna dip into this shade right next to it. Looks like it's a neutral shade that would go with the mohair. This one's called Coriander. It's just a little bit lighter. Oh, a lot lighter and actually a bit chalkier. I'm just gonna add that to kind of soften the vibe that I have going on here. Pretty cool. And now I'm thinking I want a little bit of warmth, at least right here underneath my brow where it's already pretty heavy and it casts a natural shadow. I want to just brighten it up a bit with some peachiness from shade Beach Grass. I will say these are pretty pigmented for mattes and specifically for Sigma mattes. I'm gonna go back to shade Mohair and just add that back in. One thing I will say is that I do think eyeshadow is coming back. Perhaps not in the way that we used to see it before, but it is definitely making a comeback. You mark my words. I recently noticed all the actresses in the show You, I don't know if you guys are watching You, but I'm watching You, and I noticed the eyeshadow looks on every single character. Whether they are a glam girl or a more neutral girl, they've all got the looks. And that kind of brings me back to the days where I used to watch Gossip Girl. Eyeshadow was not so much a thing then, the way that hair and fashion was. Do you guys notice that? Because a lot of times I would watch the shows just for the styling, just for the makeup or for the looks. Nowadays, I don't think we do that anymore, but I did notice with Euphoria and now with You, I'm noticing makeup looks are coming back and it's making me very happy. All right, so now I want to do just a little bit of brightening. So I'm going to use the lightest shade here. I'm going to do, whoa, I was going to say a subtle matte highlight, but it's definitely not subtle. It is very bright, but necessary. I like it. I like it. I like it. It's nice to have that pop. And then I'm thinking I'm going to go into the shade Dune. Ooh, that is really, really pretty. Shade Dune across the lid. And I feel like there's something special about that. There's something unexpected about this very neutral, subtle sculpted eye, you know? Gonna take a tiny brush, Mario E6, deepest shade here. Just lift my outer corner ever so slightly, like that. Blend it, deepen it, and just hold that darkness out a little bit. Just to kind of create a slightly elongated shape. Oh my God. A slightly elongated shape. Same thing here, just a little kiss of an eyeshadow. Connecting, pulling, keeping it tight and close to the lash line. I'm gonna go back to Dune. I told you guys this was gonna be a quick makeup look, and then suddenly here we are, and we're making it a thing. I just realized I don't have a new mascara, so I'm just gonna use an oldie but a goodie Essence Lash Princess, the waterproof. This one's been my fave for a long time. It is so trusty. So by the way, I stopped using my lash serum for a good 2 weeks, and I think my lashes are looking a little bit less than before, but I did start it back up again yesterday, and so I'm thinking I'll probably start using it in bursts, maybe 2-week stretches and then 2-week breaks, you know? But it definitely gets sad once the lashes renew themselves and fall out and then they grow back the way that they used to be. It is definitely a naked sort of feeling, you know? So I don't know how I feel about lash serums. Yes, they absolutely work, but the fact that they get you so used to having these luscious, voluminous lashes, and then the moment you stop using them, it's like they get taken away. It's very frustrating. It's not right. I think I still have a little something. This mascara is legit, so legit. We're almost done here. We're at the final stretch. I have some new lip frame lip liners from Dominique Cosmetics. These are just some of the shades. I believe there's 9 altogether, but these are just the ones that I picked up for this video. You guys are familiar with this pencil. Basically, it looks like a blade. It is very sharp, but it's also wide, so you can line your lips, but you could also fill them in. So it's very convenient. The colors are all neutral. There's some pinks, some browns, and some variations of nudes. So right now I already have some lip liner on, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of depth and definition. I'm gonna go for shade Soft Brownie, which is just a really pretty medium brown. And so you know how I said I don't like a waxy formula for my brow pencils? Well, the opposite is true for my lip pencils. I love a waxy formula for my lip pencils. I find that it stays on longer, it gives a little bit of bulk or a little bit of volume to the lip line. So this one I like because it has that waxy formula that I prefer. All right, here we go. And then I'm gonna take this pinky shade here, Terracotta Kiss. It's not actually pinky. And I'm gonna use the wide side of the pencil to fill it in. And it is so easy to do. So it kind of doubles as a lip liner and also as a lip color. Boom. For my final new product for the video, I have 2 from Milani, actually 3. So we've got the Keep It Full Max with triple X's Plumping Lip Lacquer. This one is supposed to be very pigmented. And look at the size of this one. It is a pretty long one. We also have a much shorter lip gloss, Keep It Full Nourishing Lip Plumper. So this is it compared to the Max. And this one is supposed to be a little bit more sheer. So both are plumping. One just has more pigment, the other is more sheer. So let's try it. That was the shade that I wanted to try, but it's God knows where now. So we're just gonna dig for another one. Oh, and they also have the Keep It Full Glossy Plumping Balm. This one is really nice. It's semi-sheer, so it works great for like the gym or for running errands, but it does add that little bit of color and a little bit of gloss to your pout. Very nice product. I guess let's go for this one. So this is shade First Kiss. And yeah, it is pigmented. Oh, this glides like vinyl. It has a slight minty but candy-like scent and taste. I quite like it. I quite like this shade. Really pretty. Cooling sensation. All right, so now I'm gonna top it off with the Nude Shimmer. This is not the Max, this is the other one. The slightly sheer one. This looks so incredibly pigmented. Are you kidding me? So pretty. So pretty. I was not expecting that. Someone actually just told me in my DMs that this is a really great product. I hadn't tried it yet, and I'm impressed. Oh, a little stringy if you put on too much, but I did double up, so that's to be expected. But overall, quite promising. I do feel that little bit of a tingle, a little bit of a burn too, which is nice. I like that feeling. I like the burn. And so here is my final look using all new makeup that I just tested for the first time, mostly for the first time. What do we think? I'll tell you what I think. Haven't said that in a while. I really do like the contour blush and highlight dewy moment. It is kind of glassy and very fresh. It looks a little bit wet to the touch, which I was going for. And I think it contrasts nicely with the mattified skin and with the somewhat shimmery but sculpted eyes. I think this is quite classy, quite cute. I would definitely wear this look. And I gotta say, everything has performed pretty well. There isn't really a product that stood out that wasn't good. Everything that I've tried today, speaking of just the new products, from the contour wand to the eyeshadow palette to the Milani glosses, everything seemed to work very well. So far, I do like the MAC Studio Fix powder on top of foundation. I already showed you the foundation. It's a foundation that I already like. It's not my first time trying it. So definitely let me know your thoughts. What do you think of this look? What do you think of the products? Is there anything that interests you more than others? Comment below and let's talk. I'll see you guys in my next video. For now, I am gonna say farewell. Peace out. I'm out. More videos over here. Deuces.